Hello everyone, welcome to my current sketchbook, and this is not finished but I have quite a lot of work in it and I thought it would be fun to show you some stuff I've been working in the past few months. This is the first sketchbook I've actually painted the cover for, and it's the view out of my kitchen window, and I think it's quite a nice painting because it's something mundane but it's part of my life. So let's get into it. I just wanted to make a small introduction page. I was drawing this based off an actual flower I got, and it had this really cute painted vase, and it's tiny, it's about probably about this big. And yeah, then I started making other characters out of the plants I have at home, and this is a ticket from the Marina Museum in Dunkirk, which was actually really cool. So if you're ever there, I suggest you going. Yeah, so I started this in September 2023 and it's still a work in progress. It's a bit of a chunky boy, so let's get into it. These are some quick sketches. It was when we went to see our new puppy for the first time, and there's a really nice forest around that area, so we just had a walk. So this actually holds quite a special memory to me because every time I look at this I think of that walk and the first time we got to see our dog. On the right, it's done much later. I was testing out masking fluid and I thought it's quite fitted to go on this spread as it's all trees. I was doing small sketches because I wanted to paint a still life. And I was on Pinterest and looking at different types of photographs of still lifes, and I picked the best ones that I thought were interested, sketched them down, and that made me decide which one I wanted to go for. So I actually went for this one, and at a later date I came back and did this one as well. And yeah, as I chose the one with the pots and the pear and the grapes, then I just wanted to figure out the color scheme and the color palette. Here I was experimenting a bit. I wanted to do some portraits, but I also wanted to see if this sketchbook can handle a bit of paint. So the gold is done in acrylic. It hasn't buckled too much, which I'm quite happy about it. I really like this one here. I think it has something quite nice and delicate to it, and I really like the monochrome aspect of it. With this tool I tried to integrate some other colors. I wasn't quite so successful, but I think later on in the sketchbook I revisited and I think it's much better. And these are mostly doodles from life. This was just a lamp from a cafe, and this is one of the plants from our kitchen. I did a watercolor painting of this, and yeah, here I was experimenting with paints a bit more, and yeah, it was just some leaves I picked up on a walk and dipped them in paint. Now here, these are some drawings based off some paintings from actual live figure drawing classes. Now this is one of my favorite spreads in this sketchbook. I always tend to go for the same type of model when I look for my reference pictures, and I wanted to break out of it. I like this one the most. It's my favorite. I think it's something about how the earrings frame the drawing and the background. Yeah, here it was really fast. Again, I was trying to get an idea down for a painting, and that's some more leftover paint from those leaves I tried earlier. Moving on, I went to a pottery painting experience with one of my friends, and that's what ended up being on the bowl I painted. And based on this, I just wanted to see how far I can stretch this illustrative style. I'm more of a realistic type of artist. I don't really delve into these more stylized characters, and it was fun, but I don't find it challenging enough for my drawing to keep pursuing this. And this was a Halloween spread actually. I really enjoyed this one. This is my second favorite from the sketchbook, and I really like how I composed everything, and I was trying to be a bit more loose with the background. This was a tree from a walk I did in Wales, and it looked very imposing and big, and I wanted to put that on paper. And then with this one over here, I tried to paint it. I got to the end of painting phase of it, but I haven't finished it, so I will have to revisit it at one point. And these are some late night sketches. I opened Pinterest, and the first pictures that were there I drew, because I wanted to do something quick and I don't want to spend half an hour finding that perfect reference picture. Then under here, it really didn't end up how I wanted, so then I just got a sticky note and drew something else on top. And then again with this one, it's done on the same night, but I think I was a bit tired because it just didn't look right. So then in the next morning, I used the same reference picture. I really looked at the proportions and did this with pen this time. Now I revisited an illustrative style. This is the one I did first, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I wanted to do a bit of a mixed media piece, so this is actually done with watercolor pencils, and I did a bit of water on it. And then that's just done with normal pencils and a bit of liner. Quite like as a composition, and I think it's quite successful. But then I tried to recreate something similar on the next page, and I don't think I was feeling it anymore, and the color palette is not quite right, so I don't really like looking at that one. This is another favorite spread of mine, more of a page, not really a spread, but I really enjoyed drawing doggies. I've never actually drawn dogs before, but it was really fun, and I especially like the long nose ones, like bozoid type. Now we are getting to some anatomy studies. I was following some diagrams from this book. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it on the screen, the name of the book. I think it's quite good. It's not a step-by-step anatomy type of book, but it breaks down the structure of the body quite well, and I quite enjoyed it. And I also got these 2 colored pencils by Faber-Castell, and I wanted to try them out, so it was a perfect time to exercise that. And I really like how this little head ended up here. I didn't really test the sketchbook with wet medias as much, so I wanted to see how that would go. I knew I wouldn't be able to do a lot of wet watercolor, but I wanted to see what happens, and it did handle it much better than I expected it. I just did really light washes of the watercolor. And on the other page I did a different portrait, I think, if I remember, and I didn't really like it, so I just covered it up with acrylic paint, and that's a small watercolor styling on some loose paper I had, so I thought, why not just put it in here. Now we're getting a bit more anatomy. This one wasn't so successful. I think the line base was okay, but then I went with some really dark watercolor, as I was still testing watercolors in this sketchbook, and it wasn't quite right. And then one of my friends actually got me a set of watercolor pencils from Sweden, so I really wanted to try it out, and I did a portrait to test them out, and yeah, they are nice. They're very pastel-y. A bit more anatomy studies, and then again testing a bit more on the watercolors. I really like this portrait. It was done really quickly, and it was only meant to be a quick graphite portrait, but I thought a bit of a wash of color might elevate it, and I'm really happy I did that. And then this one here was done with markers. I've never really used markers before, so I had them in my drawers for a few years. I wanted to try them because I keep seeing people using markers, especially as a base for portraits. Then I went on top with some colored pencils, and I think there is something there. I would definitely try it again to see what I can do with alcohol markers. And then a bit more anatomy. I did quite like that one. I liked it as a composition, and it was nice drawing a bit of hands. This was a very quick sketch for painting I did in acrylics, and I got a few more colored pencils and some paints. I got some tubes of the alizarin greens and hue by Winston & Newton, and I just thought the pan ones and the tube ones don't look the same, but I think they definitely do. I was just a bit crazy then. And then another spread of anatomy studies. Again, I was really like using these backgrounds to elevate the sketches a bit, and I got to more hands. And yeah, there's not much to say about it, but yeah, it's a nice spread. A bit more, this time some feet, a bit more anatomy, and then some swatches of colors I've got. I didn't want them to go to waste, so I just put them in here. And then yeah, some pencils I've got, I wanted to test them out. And then I was swatching some watercolors on these hearts, and some nice drawings where I wanted to test blending stamps, because I don't really use them at all, and I had a few. I tried to go for a blended effect, and also I was looking for reference pictures that have harsh lighting, because I thought that could be a nice fun challenge for me. This is not my favorite in terms of how it turned out, but it's a more personal spread, because this is our little dog Winnie, and it was from a trip in the Peak District, and she looked really cute, so I did some really fast drawings of her. And then these are some quick watercolor studies of some of my family members, and I actually did this in a painting every day for a week challenge. I have it on my channel, so you can check that out if you want. And yeah, some more color swatches. Here I was planning to do something, I didn't have the time to do it, but it would be something for the future. And I was thinking I didn't really like that much, but there was something about the sky, so I just cut that off and tried something in the sketchbook to see if I can salvage it, and it looks much better than how I did originally. And here I went back to trying to layer some colored pencils, and I was trying to get the hang of it a bit with the different colors, and I think it turned out decent. But my partner says this reminds him a lot of orthodox icons, and now I can't unsee it. So yeah. And then here I was planning for a big painting, which again it's on my channel, so you can see the process there. And then here I was trying again with colored pencils. I like this a lot as a composition. I don't like the execution, but I think it would be a very nice oil/acrylic painting. And that was from an art date. I went with a few friends, and we had all of our sketchbooks out, and we were just drawing a few things. And yeah, this is the latest spread. It's from only using colored pencils for a week, and I think it turned out quite nice. Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Alice in Wonderland characters, like the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter, and the White Rabbit. I was really pleased with this one because I think I finally managed to understand how to layer different colors rather than making monochrome portraits. So yeah, this is the state of my current sketchbook. There's a lot of pages left, and yeah, we'll see when this will be finished. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. And don't forget to like and subscribe.